words that I feel it necessary to say. It's going to take a while. I'm sorry. I hope we all speak English, because what I have to say I feel is important. About 2 months ago, the attack of Hamas on Israeli citizens took place. And with it came this first wave of shock for me, a wave of shock, of desperation and hopelessness by the sheer violence, the gruesomeness, the level of brutality. And then a couple of days later, the Israeli retaliation happened, and with it came a second wave of shock, desperation, and hopelessness. This feeling that we are in a cyclical path of violence and hatred and revenge and violence and hatred and revenge and violence all over again, a never-ending circle. But somehow there was also another path that existed side by side, an escalation into more violence. Somehow it got worse and worse through the years. And this feeling that both of these paths are somehow fatalistic, that one is escalating into more violence, one is never leading us out of this violence, was just too much to bear. But then there came a third wave of shock, desperation, and hopelessness. And that wasn't by the physical violence, but it was by the reaction of people, the way they decided to converse about it within themselves and then outwardly. People shouted black and white, and they screamed good and bad, and they howled us and them, drawing a line in the sand and pouring cement on it, polarizing, demanding you pick a side. And I understand the need of simplification. I understand the need for black and white. I understand that when the world feels dangerous and unhinged, we regress to a childlike need of contrast, of simplicity. But reality and truth, they will not succumb to our need to simplify them. They are nuanced, they are complex. There is never, ever, never one side. It is never a binary language. It's a myriad, a spectrum of gray, of human suffering. And so, my body, I was touring this whole time, and my body just started outletting whatever it is that I was feeling. I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping, but still every night I come on stage and perform as I do now. And I got sick. My voice went, I was coughing all the time. I really should have rested in bed, but I came on the stage every night, and the local promoters kept on asking me, why do you continue? You can cancel. People will understand. Your country is at war, you're sick. Why don't you cancel? And I said, because this is important. And I didn't really understand why at the time. It took me some time. I think if this was just 2 hours of escapism, we can cancel this. There is enough escapism out there. But if we use this tool correctly, if we use art, music, poetry, not as a means of escapism, but as a tool of introspection, not to escape reality, but to dive deep into the real reality, our subconscious, our consciousness, that if we use this music, this art, if we use it as a digging tool into ourselves, because art is a gray language inherently. It's never binary, it's never black and white, because it uses metaphor and symbols. It is gray, it is nuanced and complex, because you, each and every single one of you, translate it to whatever you want it to be. Your soul sings with these songs, each a unique song. So it is never black and white, and that's why you can use this tool to always dig down into your soul, to turn the judging eyes inwards, and to find that gaping universal wound, that fear of meaninglessness, invisibility, that fragility that we all share, if we can look upon that without judgment, give it beauty and dignity through the aesthetic of art, if we can look into our own fragility before it turns into anger and violence, if we can understand and hold the complexity within ourselves, maybe there is a crumb of hope that we can then amplify it and widen that understanding, that capacity for complexity and nuance also to others, creating empathy. And that is the only semblance of hope I still hold on to. So this is not 2 hours of escapism. I am sorry for that. But this is going to be a couple of hours of self-introspection and dissection through the tool of art. And I know it's asking a lot of you. It's not only my work, it's a joint effort, a labor together. And so, good luck to Asaf.